technology, so hang on because it's going to be a bumpy ride. So, plug it. When it came time to actually renovate the top floor at home, I decided to go to the only guy I can go, and that's Roberto Flooring. It's just a Hispanic thing that I did. Roberto went ahead and created an invoice for me. He comes in here. He says, Oscar, I picked the quantity of the tiles that I need. It's 1,000 tiles. Of course, I do my Hispanic crying, and I said, listen, that's just too much. And they said, oh, no problem. You know, the Hispanic, the law, so he goes ahead and gives me a credit for that. Automatically, my invoice is 20% more expensive. I'm very happy about that. The only thing that he has in here is the way we support our own. So the only thing I noticed in his QuickBooks accounting is that he has a charge anywhere menu, very unique menu that allows him to do an array of things and transactions, recurring payment, ACH payment, credit payments. All he can do, what will have to happen in this case is go ahead and charge that invoice 14 in a truly mobile transaction, laptop connected to a data card, USB reader. Of course, I'm not going to pay him the full amount at that point. I said, you're out of your mind. Estás loco. Go ahead, I'm going to charge you 6, half of that. Great thing of this is that I cannot see down here with the screen the way it is, but I'm going to go ahead and click that. He sends the payment. It's going to be challenging. Once he processes a quick sale, I'm going to go ahead and close this. I cannot see down there with the way that screen is. Hopefully, I'm going to have to adjust this a bit. Now, 3 seconds later, he goes ahead and goes to my home. The payment got processed. You really can't see it with the screen this way. But we'll go to the next. Transaction is finished. As you can see, the receipt gets in there. I actually can print it. I can email it. I can do any of that. So now, 3 seconds down the line, the guy shows up in my house. He completes the job. He shows up with his phone. And we're going to look at the phone in a moment in here. And it's the Nexus Android phone. And again, we're going to zoom it up so you can see the full system. I look at the phone. I said, well, that's kind of unique. What do you do with this phone? And he said, well, you know, that's my full point of sale system. And I said, that's great. It's a mobile application. I'm going to go ahead and log into it. So he goes ahead and logs into the application. Includes a password. Highly secure password. You can take Roberto as a BlackBerry guy that can learn to use a touchscreen. However, this one is very unique, and what he does is that he goes ahead and shows the card to it and completes an NFC transaction. So now notice that he's asking me for the number of the customer, which is 001, the invoice number, which I believe it was 14, and I'm going to go ahead and pay that balance that was due. By the way, if we are connected, that is a live transaction that just took place. I am not just giving you a demo, I'm actually showing you the technology. Signature capture is important. You want to make sure in the case of a chargeback issue that you have that signature at the gateway. So we go ahead, and again, that's just a connection for the internet. Once you submit the signature, and the signature is submitted, we look into the application, and he said, this is not your regular one-page geometrical shape kind of application. So it can be as simple as showing a card, swiping a card. If you like to use one of these devices, by the way, you can pin debit on mobile, you can swipe and pin, you can EMB and pin for the roadmap that is going on next April. If you just want to swipe and print, you can do that as well. However, notice that you have the different kinds of tender type in here, and you have over 110 configuration parameters right on the app. So as simple as swiping, showing the card and going forward, or if you want to be able to go in and really work with this application. If I'm in a different industry, you can change that in there. Notice that I'm sending transactions directly into QuickBooks accounting. So that's taking place in there. In the kind of industry Roberto is, probably let's call a job instead of an invoice. If I'm accepting taxes, we don't do that. You go ahead and click that in there. If you're in a different type of industry, by amount, by percentage, you auto-apply an amount. Over 110 different configurations you can do. The GPS location where the payment took place. I think more importantly, again, is the idea that you can take all tender types at the palm of your hand, as you can see in here. So if you're allowing, as a merchant provider, as a bank providing this technology, you're allowing your customer to actually activate prepaid cards to become part of that loading network. If you're issuing other bank prepaid cards, you can activate, load them in here. If you want to make sure that you can accept recurrent payments, for example, so in the case that Roberto wants to be able to give somebody a payment plan, that he can go in, charge the first transaction right at the setup, and then go ahead and set it up right from the mobile transaction at that point. Certainly he can do the other side of that equation, which is upload any kind of invoice. If you want to upload the image of ACH transaction as a backup to that transaction, you can do that as well. And we go in here, select the check number. I'm reading the instrument first. I select what account I want to pay from. Go ahead again, we select the customer that we're sending that payment to, the invoice, the amount, and you submit that payment. I don't have a check or an invoice in front of me, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of you guys. You guys are looking great. Thank you for posting. That was very kind of you. I appreciate that. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and submit that. I went to the gateway. All this talk about money. Now Roberto said, listen, this is all good. Can we finish the rest of the house? And I said, man, all this talk about money is just getting me hungry. So I go ahead and I cross the street and I go to Papa Juan. By the way, when he came to America, he changed it to Papa John's. But usually, I guarantee you, it's Papa Juan. And so you change here, and hopefully what you're going to see in here, now, I keep taking toys, is the actual cash register that Papa Juan uses. So I go across the street, I'm drinking a couple of beers, and I said, listen, this is great. Cerveza, no, as we call it. I see this guy, these are very incredible Hispanics over there, and he goes ahead and he logs into his tablet, Android tablet. He logs in here, as he would. The only difference is that the gateway, by the way, I'm in the wrong place, sends transaction item detail. So if you're doing purchasing card level 1, 2, and 3, not only for qualifications purposes, I'm going to pick a couple of sodas, I'm going to pay now, I can decide to pay with cash, or of course I'm going to pay with credit card, which is the whole reason this presentation. I go ahead and I swipe this through here, I press submit. These are live transactions, by the way, taking place. I get to sign on the screen. That takes care of that. Now Roberto's looking at me from across the street and he said, man, I saw you didn't have any money. Here you are drinking it with Papa Juan. And I said, well, coincidentally, I just got paid, and I got paid to my phone. And I said, oh yeah, you do have a digital wallet. That's great. So we're going to go ahead and show you the digital wallet. And in this case, I'm running out of time like crazy. So I come out of my application, and I'm going to go ahead and go into my Charge Anywhere wallet application. First level is to go into the app, highly secure password that you saw in there. Then I have 3 ways of paying with this application. One, you know, Roberto puts a sign like that. He said, hey, have no fear, I have this sign in here. So if you don't have the terminal, if he had the terminal, we can do a phone-to-phone kind of transaction. And now I can just go ahead and show the phone to this, select the account. The accounts are never on the device. There's never sensitive data on the device. Second level of security, you go ahead and select your PIN. You go ahead and send that transaction. If we are connected, that was another live transaction. For Roberto likes to motivate people beyond payments, so that you want to win a prize, you go ahead and spin the little wheel, and we go ahead and give you the option to win a prize. Of course, being Roberto the way he is, he only thanks you for your business. Charge Anywhere, thank you so much. Oscar Munoz, please do not forget to vote. Thank you.